How did it work as a bringing the team together, though?
Honestly, I think they were, maybe other than the freshmen, I think they were pretty well together anyway. But I think when you saw them, they were all together, which is a good sign. You didn't have a couple guys going off in their own direction. There were always groups of them together. I thought you got fired or something. No, I haven't seen you since the merger.
Could be.
I just asked today. Honestly, I was asking about your welfare.
I may be stalking you tomorrow, looking for a job.
I'd be probably the wrong guy to stalk.
Probably so. But I know where you live. So. Did you? Obviously, you're not 50 points better than everybody you're going to play this year, but was it, how much could you glean about your team from what you did in those 3 games?
Well, I pretty much I think what we already knew. We're gonna score in flurries. I think it was 15-13, and then it was 51-15 or something like that. And I think it's just the cumulative effect of us playing so many people, keeping fresh guys on the floor. I think just it wears people down. We were really poor in transition. I think we digressed in transition. We didn't make as good of decisions as what as what I thought we were going to make, is what actually we did in practice. But those are things I hope we can fix. We didn't shoot it very well, but during the 10 days of practice, we've shot it very well. So
that was one of your at least offensive faults last year, was that you would play terrific defense and get the ball, and then you couldn't do anything with it, especially in transition. Does that disappoint? I mean, that seems like it might have been, if not goal number 1, then at least in the top 5.
Well, we were better in practice. Obviously there's guys that when we really start playing, they're not going to ever have it in the middle. They're going to give it to somebody else and run the lane, so they won't be making those decisions. But even our guys, honestly, the guy who made the best decisions in transition those 3 games was Beadle. Beadle did a much better job than our returning guys in terms of decision making and getting the ball to the right people and us being able to finish, which you would have thought that JC and Tariq would have been better.
Do you think that was just happenstance in those 3 games, or is that inherent in him?
In Beadle?
Yeah.
I think he's pretty good with the ball. His problem is going to be what Lamont's problem is. They're just the physicality is hard for them because neither one of them weigh anything.
And conspicuous by his absence in that discussion is Eason. Is he not? Do you not think that he has that same issue with strength?
No, I don't think he does. Honestly, I don't think he does. He's going to be a lot stronger, obviously, but I thought, it was kind of typical of when you play in a foreign soil. They call the game different. They shoot 63 free throws. They could have shot 100, if they'd have made all of them. It got to where it was ridiculous, but he played through those things, And I think that's a positive thing. He plays through contact better than a lot of our returning guys. He didn't shoot it very well, but I mean, that's kind of, nobody thought he would. He's trying to figure out where he's supposed to be, but.
How much of, you say, could have shot 100 free throws in a lot of your games last year? People did shoot 100 free throws, or at least combined. I mean, how much of that was playing, as you said, on a foreign soil, and how much of it is that you're going to have to get used to that?
Well, when we're running down the floor and they chuck us out of bounds 3 times and there's no call, and then every time they took it to the basket, it was a foul, it's kind of got ridiculous. I mean, it was, we never got a foul taking the ball to the basket ever. And every time they did, it was a foul. I mean, it was almost like go back and sit back in the zone and try to make them shoot jump shots, but particularly the last game. And I don't know, I mean, probably when you win the first one by 70, they, you know, everybody's kind of don't want that to happen to them.
Coach, you, I think it was like Larry and Eric and Ron kind of did the scrimmage games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of wondering, getting a different perspective, a different view, did you get anything?
I wanted to watch. I wanted to sit up on the top, Justin, and watch. Kind of watch. You can see everything better. You know, when you're down there on their level, it's hard to see guys making rotations and the guys that break on the ball and the guys that don't break on the ball. And I sat up there the first game, and it was a whole lot better in terms of me knowing what we have to fix, particularly with the pressure stuff, and really for that matter the offense too, because you can see the whole thing. I mean, you can kind of see it all develop. So it was, and I just sat up there and took some notes. And
You're invited during the season to sit up with us if you like. We see it all, you know.
be quite educational for you.
For who?
For you.
There weren't that many people at those games. Were there occasional voices from on high down to the floor? Or did you sit there stoically?
It was hard to sit there stoically the last game. Yeah, but
Got no technical sitting up there, though, huh?
no.
Have you said that you... Okay.
No, I was just going to say, it didn't influence any calls either, though.
You said that you liked, well, you seemed to like your team better without Javon at the point. And with him as the off guard, he played a lot of point down there, I believe. What was the reason for that, or are you reconsidering that or thinking about that or whatever?
We're going to have to play some point. We just got to get him comfortable enough. I thought Bob had affected his shooting a year ago. But then, so the second game, I think, one of them missed the second game, or was it the first game? Whichever one, first or second game, I mean, he made probably 5 threes in a row. So I think as he gets more comfortable, he'll be fine out there. He's our best shooter, so we got to make sure he gets shots.
Seeing the press from atop, does Issa do anything different to it because he's another guy with length? Is there any changes? Does it influence it any differently?
Well, when we got him to the right spot, he was pretty good. He's got a great feel for basketball, and so you know he anticipates things better than what some other guys do, and then that's, I don't know if it's innate or what it is. I think people do have, some people have a better aptitude to learn for sure, but no, he made some really good plays. Made some bad plays too, but he made some really good plays.
I guess in the competition, it might have been a little off, but still forcing 55 turnovers in that first game, and then, I don't know, 40-some still, whatever it was. Is it possible this team could be better at the press than what you guys had last year?
We weren't better over there. We can be longer, which will help us. I don't know. You know, Justin, I'm still trying to figure out. You know, how the game's going to be officiated and, you know, what we can do. I mean, when it's a little alarming when, you know, all the points of emphasis come out and it looks like they pointed them all at us. You know, when you trap a guy and he pivots into you, but there's never a point of emphasis. Don't let the offensive guy pivot into the defensive guy. There were several occasions down there where they just ran in and pushed us down. And, you know, they called some of them they didn't call. But yeah, I mean, verticalities, I'm okay with verticality as long as it's adjudicated to both ways. Do you want me to spell that, Bob?
Jay-Sean Page led the team with steals down there. Has his game evolved quite a bit since last year?
Yeah, I think he was kind of a step behind everything a year ago, but it's certainly not a physical thing with him. We've got to make sure that he's in ready position to make plays, and he was better at that. We've got to get Jay-Sean to be a basketball player. You know, I think Jay-Sean has kind of fashioned himself as a shooter, and we need him to be a basketball player. Would use his athleticism. He's undoubtedly our strongest, most explosive guy. So he's got to go rebound the ball, not stand on the perimeter. He's got to help us go rebound it. He's got to make more plays defensively. He's got to pass the ball better, and he understands that. I mean, he knows what we're asking him to do and what we need him to do.
Was that trip good to mix and match starting lineups, or did you kind of keep the same starting lineup for all 3 games?
I don't remember. I think they started the same guys. Did they miss? Jay-Sean Page, he started all of them, didn't he? I think he started all of them. Pretty sure he did.
I think you had the same 5 for all 3.
Actually, no one started miss according to your statistics. It's fun. No wonder we got behind early.
Were they even using NCAA officials down there? Were they even using NCAA?
No, FIBA.
Is there any update on Myers? You're going to be able to get him in this week, or is it too early?
I don't know. They're working on it. I mean, if not, you know, bring him in December and redshirt. Which, you know, I mean, I shouldn't say it, but I mean, he's missed a lot, you know, already. So. I think you could really see the difference with Beadle and Lamont in particular. As you know, they got the first game, they were obviously nervous and feeling their way through, but I think as each game they got more and more comfortable. Beadle was terrific the fourth quarter of the last game. So they're starting to kind of feel their way through, I think, and Issa got more comfortable as he went along, got more aggressive, more assertive.
When you look at his numbers down there, did they surprise you at all, or is that kind of what you expected out of him?
He didn't shoot it very well, but he finished it around the rim. I mean, we had one game we missed 7 dunks, I think, the first half, which you wouldn't think would happen. But I think as as he got more comfortable and really as the rest of them got more. Now, some of them were, you know, Devin tried to dunk over some guys. But
You guys come back together and start full-time practice?
I told them take this week, they got a lift. We haven't, I mean, we've really, this is probably the worst summer that we've had lifting because of, you know, I let them go the first summer session, which I haven't done before, and so we're a little bit behind, I think, from the strength training aspect. So I told them they're going to lift 3 times this week, but that's all. They'll play because they like to play, but and then we'll start running and everything next week.
How excited are you for this softball game?
I haven't thought about it. I mean, if Jay didn't talk about it every 5 minutes, nobody'd know about it. But it's fun. I mean, and the guys had fun, and you know, we smacked them pretty good last year, primarily because they didn't know the rules. They'd have the bases loaded and pop one up, and we'd get a triple play, get out of the inning. You know? They'd just start running. They couldn't figure out why they were out. The umpire said to me, says, "Coach, you think I ought to bring them together and tell them the rules?" I said, "Hell no, we'll never win if you do." Maisie will probably screw it up. He'll probably tell them the rules. But yeah, it's fun. They get a kick out of it.
How did it work as bringing the team together, though?
You know, honestly, I think they were, maybe other than the freshmen, I think they were pretty well together anyway. But I think when you saw them, they were all together, which is a good sign. You didn't have, you know, a couple guys going off in their own direction. There were always groups of them together. I thought you got fired or something. No, I haven't seen you since the merger.
Could be.
I just asked today. Honestly, I was asking about your welfare.